Hello. Hi everyone. Good evening. Can all of you hear me? Okay. Naveen, good evening. How are you, boss? Hello, Rajiv. Hello, Najad. Okay, great. I hope everyone's day was fine, great today. And thank you for attending my class. So the topic that we will be learning today is auditing, right? And we will see how auditing is done in organizations, in companies, who does it, how he does it, right? So we will go through all those things today. I hope everyone can hear me clearly. Naveen, Prabha, Rajiv, Najat says yes. Okay, good. Rashid, how are you, sir? Asia, Mr. Monachin, Manu says yes. Okay. Seher Shakur, what about you? I am not seeing a response. Okay, Mohammed Shafwan, what about you, boss? No response. Mohammed Shafwan, can you hear me? Okay, yes. Fine, 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 fine. Fine, Shafwan. Okay. Rashid, what about you? I'm not able to see your response. Asia, you also? Both of you are not responding. Anyways. Okay, so let's start with the class, today's class. Okay, everyone tell me, what do we mean by the term auditing? What first thought comes in your mind when you hear the term auditing? A person who checks the financial records of a company to make sure they are accurate. Okay, good. Financial checking. Final correction. Okay, good. Clarifications in accounts. Okay. Naveen, who gives the clarifications to whom? Financial record data. Okay. By the auditor to the company. You are saying reverse. The company explains their financial data to the auditor. External evaluation for financial matters. Okay. Conduct of an official examination. Good one. Conduct an official financial examination of a company. Okay. So, why is it so important? Auditing. Why auditing is required? Why is it compulsory for every organization? The company might say that we don't want any audit because we have experts examine and verify accounts to ensure the authenticity of what? Rajiv. Who does the audits? For the tax issues, yes. Sorry, excuse me. Yeah. Who does the audits? Auditor. Chartered accountants, yes. Okay. Okay. CA, yes. So, tell me one more thing. Does auditing is compulsory for every organization, or is it also, or is it also compulsory for banks? Right, banks and other organizations as well, apart from companies, private sector companies. Naveen says yes, it is compulsory for everyone. Rajiv Kumar says yes. The answer is yes. It is compulsory for everyone. Okay. Okay. Tell me one more thing. Who audits? See, for organizations audits, uh, we have these CAs or the CA firms. But there is one more audit which is done for the government running that country. Who does the audit of them and their policies and their actions? There is an autonomous body in every country who have the right to do the audit of the government running those countries. Financial audit. IT department, no. IT department comes under the government. How will they? How many of you have heard the term CAG? CAG. How many of you have heard this term? Controller Auditor General of India. It is Controller Auditor General. Controller and Auditor General, yes. So, like we have election commissions, right? Which is an autonomous body. Autonomous body means the body which is not under the government. They have their own rights, right? So, independent body, yeah. Like we have election commission, which is an autonomous body. Similarly, we have CAGs also, which is an autonomous body. So they'll look after the financial auditing of the decisions or the financial policies implemented by the government, right? Like in India, during the last government, there were so many scams, right? Like coal scam, 2G scam, right? So all these scams are the figure of loss of money to the government is calculated by CAG only. That 1,76,000 crore rupees of loss was estimated by CAG only. Okay. So this is the background of company of auditing. So let's start. Okay. Okay. Now this we have already done the definition. This is the definition. Auditing is a systematic examination of the books and records of a business or other organizations in order to verify and to report upon the facts regarding the financial operations and the results thereof. So it is a systematic exam which is mandatory for all the organizations of the banks, NGOs, everyone. Everyone has to go through this process once in a year, where they have to share their balance sheets to the auditor, and then the auditor gives their final opinion or recommendations. Okay. What are the qualities of an auditor? He is an independent person or a body which is not under the influence of any government or anyone. Integrity. They are honest people. They prepare honest reports. How many of you know what happens if they are influenced by some outside powers and they don't give the correct reports and they prepare reports in the favor of the organizations by taking some money or some other gift, something like that. There is also a possibility of this situation. What happens in such situation? Why control not? It is controller, Rajiv, not comptroller. Yes, everyone. Did all of you get my question? There is also a possibility that an auditor takes some money or some gift from the organization for which he is doing the auditing. Comptroller can harm for company. Income tax is a different issue. Income tax has nothing to do with this controlling. Yes, we can say that in later on, if some issues comes up, right, or if the government interferes and some investigation starts, and then at that time, if they found that there is an irregularity, then the license of that CA or the auditor will be cancelled, and he will be removed from his office. That is why many auditors hesitate in making the wrong reports. CA is a very tough exam, right? People become CA by qualifying the exam. It is a two group exam, very competitive, where the passing percentage is around 8 to 10% each year in India, right? So you can imagine how tough it is. So all this career demolitions. That is why it is expected from the auditors to make a fair report. Clear, everyone? It's directly linked to profit that is taxable. Yes, correct. Okay. Okay. Next is objectivity. Yeah, he is there for some objective or some goal. Number 4, ability for expression and communication. He has the right to express his views in the manner which he wants, and he has the right to communicate in the manner he wants. He should be very tactful because he should because they are very cautious, right? Because whenever they go to the places where they have to do the audit, the company people try to lure them with comfort, with money, right, indirectly. So they have to be very tactful. Awareness, right, and also they should demonstrate a feeling of awareness in the society. Now, what are the powers that an auditor have, rights and powers? Number 1, they have the right to access at all times to books, accounts and vouchers of the company. I hope everyone is familiar with these 3 terms: books, vouchers and accounts. Is everyone familiar? Right, so they can directly access the main account of the organization where they are doing an audit, right, to cross-check the records. Next, someone has joined. Lakshmi. Lakshmi, can you hear me? Good evening. How are you? You can respond to me in the chat box. Second one, right to receive notice and to attend general meetings. Okay, great. So they have a right to receive notice and to attend the general meetings. Next, they have the right to obtain information and explanations. They can ask from any employee of the organization, right? Even the CEO or the manager, whatever other information they need about the previous year data, right? Or from any employee about any or about any subject related to auditing. So they have the right to question anyone in the organization. They have the right to visit the branches. For each branch, there is a different auditor. Suppose, can all of you hear me? Okay, fine. Okay, they have the right to visit branches. Now there are many auditors. They reach the branch where they have to do the audit in a right without informing that branch manager or some senior people. Right, they will not tell anyone that they are coming to the branch for having their audit. Right, so they have these powers to visit any branch whenever they want. They have the right to sign the audit report. They have the right to sign the audit report. After completing their audit, each auditor prepares one audit report, right, and then gives the grades or the marks and their findings in that, and then signs it. So whatever findings he has given, he will sign it, and that is the final words of the auditor. Okay, right to receive remuneration for doing the audits. The auditors are paid. It's not that they will do it free of cost. Right, they are paid. Okay, Mr. Sunil has joined. Mr. Sunil, good evening. How are you? Okay, so does anyone have any questions to ask regarding the rights and powers of an auditor? Okay, we are just on the fourth slide, Sunil. We are discussing about auditing today. How to be authorized auditor by qualifying the CA exam. By qualifying the CA exam. See, we have these auditing firms, right, who have their where the CAs work. There are some CAs who directly audit the company. Is an auditor from within the no, they are not from within the organization. See, like in the second slide, I told you that there are some CA firms where a group of CA works and who does the audit, right? So that firm sends their CAs to the organization, and the choosing of the CA firms depends on that organization, right? That organization can hire any CA firm for auditing their organization or company, right? And then that firm only that company only pays to the auditing firm or the CAs. No one else pays. Clear, everyone? Prabha, clear? Okay. Some companies keep internal audit department and call from external CA company. Yes, they can do that, but the signature on the final audit report will be from some external auditing company. They keep internal CAs for the proper functioning of their financial or accounts department. Right. Okay, now what are the duties of an auditor? Let's see. Number one, compliance with audit standards. So it is expected from each auditor to fulfill all its duties and keep the standard set by the government. Duty to report fraud. Suppose during auditing, if any auditor finds that there is some fraud or some misconduct in the organization, he can directly report. Right? He will report to whom? He will report to the income tax department. Okay, next one. Duty not to render certain services. He cannot render consulting and specialized service, which means any one or combination of. Next one. Okay, in this only we have accounting and bookkeeping services, internal audit, design and implementation of any financial information system, actuarial services, investment advisory services, investment banking services, management services, any other kind of consulting services. Render means to show, right, to inform. It means that whatever his findings are, right, whatever he has audited of that organization, he cannot give those information to these services, to the organizations who are providing these services, to any banking banks, any advisory services company, right? So he has to keep those information up to him only, right? Because the company expects the privacy to be with that auditor only. He cannot reveal the information which he has accessed with company accounts to any private organization or any outside people. Right? Clear, everyone? Okay, Mr. Mamachan asked, what is actuarial services? How to explain it? See, there are certain methods, Mamachan, through which we can determine or assess the financial impact of the risk. Right, those are called actuarial services, like the analysis of rates of mortality, retirement, survivorship. Clear, Mamachan? See, this is the definition. Method by which corporations determine, assess and plan for the financial impact of risk. Actuaries use mathematical and statistical models to evaluate the risk in the insurance and finance industries. So the study of calculating the estimate of the risk. In addition to mathematical and statistical method, actuaries call upon other fields including probability, finance, economics, and computer programming to create actual models. Actuarial science is used to evaluate and predict future payouts for insurance and other financial industries such as the pension industries. So this is the definition. Right. So the point here they are trying to make is that the auditor cannot disclose the information of that organization to any outside company which can benefit from those data. Here, the next duty is the duty to sign the audit report. As I told you earlier, only the auditor has the right to sign that report. Duty to attend the general meeting. The auditor can attend the general meeting of that organization where he is doing the audit. Duty to report. Under section 143 of the Act, the auditor has a duty to report to the members of the company on accounts examined by him, every financial statement laid before a general meeting during his tenure, right? He has to report on these issues. Seventh duty to inquire. Secure loans and advances, transactions represented mainly by book entries, personal expenses, issue of shares for cash, loans and advances made by the company, etc. Now see, there are some elements which are not present in the balance sheet. Not all the things are mentioned in the balance sheet, like personal expenses, issue of shares for cash, right? So the auditor has the right to inquire from the company peoples about the estimate of such things. How much is spent on personal expenses, how much share is issued for cash, how much loan is taken by the organization, right? So these things are not represented in the book, in the balance sheet. am back. So, can all of you hear me? Okay, so this was the duties of an auditor. So I hope the duties are clear to everyone. Okay, next is the appointment of an auditor. Like I was discussing in the beginning, who appoints these other auditors. So let's take a look. First question is this, which was asked by Ms. Prabha. Who can become an auditor? According to section 226 of the auditor law, chartered accountants who are in the practice or the partnership firms of CAs in practice. There are many CAs who starts their own CA firms. They can also become auditors. Holder of a certificate in Part B states. So they can also do the audits. Disqualifications of an auditor. It means that under what all conditions an auditor is disqualified. A body corporate, any corporate body cannot do the audit. Baba is asking certificate B. Certificate in Part B states, not certificate B. Let me check what does that mean. I have to check what does here Part B state means. I think they are speaking about the disputed states like Jammu and Kashmir. I'm not sure. I have to check. Okay. Disqualifications of an auditor. An officer or employee of the company under audit. A person who is a partner or who is in the employment of an officer or employee of the company. A person who is indebted to the company for an amount exceeding ₹1,000. A person holding a security of that company. A person who has been disqualified for appointment as an auditor of a company on above mentioned grounds shall also not be eligible for appointment with any other body corporate, which may be that company's subsidiary or that company's holding company. So under these grounds, an auditor is disqualified from doing the audit. Right? So an auditor should be free from these things, or are not indulged in these things. Who can appoint an auditor? They are appointed by the directors of that organization. They can also be appointed by the shareholders. They can also be appointed by the central government, or they can also be appointed by the CAG that I was telling you in the beginning, Comptroller and Auditor General. Rajiv, you were right. It's Comptroller, CONTTROLLER. I was wrong. Sorry about that. Yeah. Okay. Then now let's see appointment by directors. First, auditors. The board of directors shall appoint the first auditor of the company within 1 month of the date of registration of the company. See, a controller, it's the full name of CAG. CAG. I told you that the CAG is an autonomous body. Its full name is Comptroller and Auditor General of India. Right. Okay. The body of directors. So once any new company is formed, then from the date of registration, within 1 month, the board of directors have to appoint the first auditor. Casual vacancy. The directors have been empowered to fill any casual vacancy in the office of an auditor except which is caused by prior resignation of an auditor. Appointment by the shareholders. First auditor. In the case the directors fail to appoint the first auditor, the shareholder shall do so at a general meeting by passing a resolution. If the director is unable to hire someone for auditing, then it is the duty of the shareholders. Subsequent auditors by ordinary resolution or by special resolution. The company shall within 7 days give intimation to the auditor so appointed. The auditor shall inform in writing to the registrar of companies within 30 days of his appointment. Casual vacancy. If a casual vacancy in the office of an auditor arises by his resignation, such vacancy should only be filled by the company in the general meeting. Appointment by the central government. If a company at an annual general meeting fails to appoint or reappoint an auditor, the central government may appoint a person to fill that vacancy. Right now, if the shareholders were failed to hire the auditor, then it is the duty of the not the state governments, central government. The company has to give notice to the above fact to the government within 7 days of the annual general meeting. The appointment by the central government is made from the panel of names suggested by the applicant company. Appointment by the CAG. In case of government companies, the Comptroller and Auditor General appoints or reappoints the auditor. CAG only investigates the government bodies. Reappointment of an auditor. The retiring auditor shall not be reappointed in the following case if he is not qualified or unwilling or passing of a special resolution. It can be reappointment. Number 4, appointment of some other person unable to comply with the ceiling on number of audits. Ceiling on number of audits. Provisions of that, objectives of the ceiling, compliance, ceiling in case of individuals, ceiling in case of partnership, firms. Ceiling means what to say, limit on the number of audits. Yeah, Mohammed Nazirul Akka. Okay. Remuneration of the auditor, it means the salary. Constituents of the salary, that is fees of the auditor, the expenses, the cost of any facility provided to the auditor. Who can fix the salary? The board of directors of that organization. In case of first auditor appointed by the board of directors, shareholder in case the auditor is appointed by the shareholders in the meeting, shareholders in the general meeting. In case of auditors appointed by the CAG for the government company. Removal of the auditor. Who can remove the auditors? Removal of auditor before the expiry of his term. The purpose of this section is to make the removal of an independent and conscientious auditor difficult. Removal of first auditor, removal of subsequent auditor. Appointment of an auditor in the place of a retiring auditor. A special notice of the resolution for appointing a person other than the retiring auditor or a special note of such a resolution should be given to the company at least 14 days before the meeting. Now, if any auditor is finishing his term or the age of 60 years, right, then he has to retire. Then in that scenario, a new auditor is appointed by intimating the auditing firm 14 days before earlier. Right of retiring auditor to make representation. The retiring auditor has a right to make presentations in writing to the company not exceeding a reasonable length and request for their notification or to the members. These are the other resolutions, not important. Penalty. According to the section 232 of the Companies Act 1956, if the default is made by a company in complying with any of the provisions contained in section 225, the company and every officer of the company who is in default shall be punishable with fine which may extend up to ₹5,000. That's all, folks. So that is all about the basics of the auditing and the auditors. Did you all like it? Any questions for me? Okay, great. So that is all for today. Thank you very much for attending my class. See you tomorrow. Good night. Take care, all of you. Thank you, Prabha. Thanks, Manu. Thanks, Monachin. Good night, Sunil. Thanks, Mejo. You take care, Monachin. Same to you. Bye. Good night, Manu. Good night, Mejo. Okay, so I am signing off. Thank you.